Oman, member advisory board, Forum for Global Studies. Currently part of the defense expert team with media groups and regularly comes on TV channels, voluntarily guiding and mentoring civil services aspirants for their interviews. In past, he has been a CEO of SSSDC and honorary CEO of CAPSI, senior fellow in Center for Land Warfare Studies, that is CLAWS, chairman of ICI SSM, a common forum for practicing security and safety professionals. He has been additional director general of Russian Rifles, wherein he coordinated 85,000 human resources deployed in Jammu and Kashmir.
Good evening, team JanyuTech Technology. Thank you so much for invitation. And in fact, it is always a pleasure to talk to JanyuTech Technology, where I've been associated right from beginning from 2018. And it gives me a tremendous happiness that the management is focusing on training. In fact, this is at the cost of, the companies are suffering, and companies basically spending money to organize training so that the calling people from diverse field, so that the team gets empowered, they get views of different fields. And in fact, as I learned last week, more than 150 talks have already been done, which is very, very commendable. It's very thoughtful and absolutely empowering the team is very, very important. That's why probably Janyu is growing by leaps and bounds, because that kind of loyalty which builds us. And in fact, talking of the subject, I'll just share my PPT. And cultivating success, discipline is the key, is absolutely the subject which is very close to my heart. Being from Army, retired from Army, having put in 36 and a half years of service in Army. So discipline has been part and parcel of us. But before I move on to the talk, I thought that I'll talk of a part of history. I think on 25 years ago, 25 and a half rather, I would say now, on 3rd May 1999, a shepherd discovered Pakistani intrusion in the area of Kargil Daras. Pakistanis had occupied, you all must have known, and this year we had the Silver Jubilee celebrations by the government and Indian Army, in fact all the armed forces, Army, Air Force, Navy. So that was called Operation Vijay. So when the Pakistani occupied the heights, they thought that Indian Army will never be able to dislodge, because it was almost impossible task. They were sitting on the heights, area was very cold, and they were in the high altitude with the lack of oxygen. And when you're sitting on top, it is something like you're sitting in a fortress, and from wherever one comes, they can't run, they have to walk very slowly because of lack of oxygen and very vertical climbs, and they could take on each and every individual one by one. Even the throwing a stone was also very effective. It was something like firing a rocket or missile. That was the situation there. So, but they underestimated the resolve of Indian Army, and by 22nd July, we were able to throw them out, each one of them. And then how was it possible? Each one of them was thrown out, and we did not stop till everybody was thrown out. They were all very well armed, and they were mix of terrorists and Pakistani army. They did not accept that the Pakistan army was their part of the whole thing. But yes, we all knew they did. We also gave them a burial as per their religion. But why I would say that how this thing was made possible, this kind of thing. This was possible only when a disciplined force does it. This is the ultimate example of leadership, discipline, professionalism, and then only it was possible. Because of that, nobody said it is very cold. Nobody said I'm not feeling well. Nobody said my wife is not well, I want to go home. None of those excuses were given by anybody, because that passion and that discipline was inbuilt among the troops, and that is how impossible thing was done. We could achieve the results which were thought impossible at that point of time. In fact, that kind of jazba, that kind of feelings come when it becomes a part of your life. Part of life means whatever you do is becomes a day-to-day routine. It is not a no more out of box thing. So इसीलिए वो if you see that I remember that kind of passion. Captain Vikram Batra had written a letter to his parents before the operation. Either I'll come back after hoisting the tricolor or I'll come back wrapped in it by I'll be back for sure. या तो मैं तिरंगा फहरा कर आऊंगा या तिरंगे में लिपट कर आऊंगा पर आऊंगा जरूर. ये सब एक ट्रेनिंग, कैमरेडरी, लीडरशिप, ये सब बिल्डअप होता है एक डिसिप्लिन से जो कंटिन्यूअस एक हमारे चलता रहता है, एक रूटीन बन जाती है चीजें, वो बड़ा जरूरी है. इसके बारे में फिर आगे अभी आपसे बात करूंगा. एंड सिमिलरली एज द बैटल प्रोग्रेस, a number of things which happened, and I think this was one of the finest example of jazba, feeling of camaraderie, love for the unit and tricolor. I would like to show you some pictures where I was also deployed in Kargil. This was my unit which had also taken part in the Operation Vijay, just to give you a feeling of the area and terrain. This is my picture. I was also there in Daras immediately after the operations. Then this was the kind of this is one of the Nala, Heel Nala we used to call it. This was our host, and in the background you can see some shelters and some diesel drums and all stored there. We also had temple. This was a temple made in a tent and a church also. Since I am from Naga region, we had both. And this is the kind of area, terrain, mountains which were there. This is of course the Vikram Batra which I just spoke. And then after that, I mean, this is another thing I thought I'll share, that battle of Tolling in Tiger Hill. I mean, this was the most difficult battle. And again, the same feelings were there by Captain Manoj Pandey. Again, another Paramveer Chakra. He said, if death strikes before I prove my blood, I swear I'll kill death. अगर मुझे अपना शौर्य सिद्ध करने से पहले मौत भी आती है तो कसम से मैं मौत को मार दूंगा. ये सब चीजें आती है. ये एक लीडरशिप जो डेवलप होती है वो डिसिप्लिन से डेवलप होती है, जो बाकी आप जहां पर भी हो. We'll talk about your work also, whatever you're doing, different roles you are doing in the company. So we'll discuss that also. But discipline, the leadership is very, very important. This is the bedrock upon which great leaders build up their career. It creates a stable and trustworthy environment where employees are accountable, motivated, and empowered to achieve their best. Disciplined leaders not only guide their team effectively, but also contribute to the development of the organizations. So these are some of the things basically what a disciplined leadership is. We called it the 7 pillars of discipline in leadership. One is defining discipline in leadership. एक जो leader है उसको खाली rules से मतलब नहीं है. It's not defined by the rules and regulations. एक उसके अंदर purpose होता है, एक determination होता है, जो self control exhibit करता है. People don't learn by orders. They see the leader, follow him. The leader is disciplined, everybody becomes disciplined. The leader comes at 9, everybody will come at 9. If the leader dresses up nicely, everybody will dress up nicely. If the leader, the way he talks, he has empathy, he has other qualities, naturally everybody will automatically behave those kinds of things. So he inspires the team by his conduct. He does not have to follow the rule, 5 rules, 10 rules to be disciplined. The role of discipline in decision making. जो leaders job is to take decision, उसका तो काम फैसला लेना ही है कि मैंने फैसला लेना. लीडर का काम, you look up to your top management, your senior for a decision, and because of discipline, he is able to take a rational decision. After weighing pros and cons and different options, doing the SWOT analysis, everything he does not take a decision in a hurry and then gives you a correct, ideal decision. Discipline, time management, of course, is I think very well understood. कि जो बंदा है punctual है, he does. As a result, once somebody is time management is there, he's able to get much more output, get much more results, and he's able to prioritize the tasks. ensure that each activity contributes to the overall objective. टाइम में बहुत टाइम मैनेजमेंट किया है तो बहुत टाइम मिल जाएगा आपको. टाइम मैनेजमेंट नहीं किया है, डिसिप्लिन के साथ नहीं आप आ रहे हो, काम नहीं कर रहे हो, आपको पता है ये सीक्वेंस है, इसके हिसाब से करना है, नहीं तो खाली रील देखते जा रहे हैं, वीडियो देखते जा रहे हो, पूरा दिन में निकल जाएगा, टाइम का पता नहीं चलेगा. तो ये सब चीज देखते हुए वी हैव टू थिंक ऑफ द टाइम मैनेजमेंट, building a disciplined team. Yes, if somebody does the somebody is disciplined, naturally the team becomes disciplined. Discipline and adaptability. Adaptability, I mean, discipline does not mean that he is rigid. He has to understand the ever-changing business dynamics, business landscape, and then they balance it out. They adjust it. That is where a disciplined person is able to do it. It is not that the one who focuses on smaller issues of discipline is at times professionally not very competent. The one who focuses on the bigger issues of discipline, then he thinks of the bigger picture and able to achieve bigger results. Overcoming challenges through discipline, yes, again he is able to weigh, knows that he will be able to do it, he or she will be able to do it, and yes, through discipline, one understands these are the options, this is how I can do it. And discipline and empathy, yes, of course, part of this, that creates a human and understanding leadership style. Discipline not only uphold the high standards, but also emphasize with the struggle of the team member. वो टीम को समझता है, उसको मालूम है कि टीम में क्या प्रॉब्लम चल सकती है, क्या क्या इश्यूज आ रहे हैं इनके, and that's how they're able to have a empathy and love and build up the great team. Before I move further, I thought ये तो मैं फौज के बारे में बात कर रहा था. I thought कि let's talk to each other also. I mean, what are the everyday challenges which you people face? I mean, don't say Janyu. Okay, you know the management is also serious, but somebody in the line, in the profession, what do they face? Anybody?
Asking question, sir. Challenges is a timely arrival into the office, sir.
Yes, absolutely. So one challenge they face is arrival time is known, departure time may not be known.
First arrival time also is unknown because of so many traffic congestions and so many reasons. Bahana so many hai. Lekin start has to be done, no? With the difference between the Japanese and us. They are also having traffic jams, everything. But the lot of improvement has to be done in that area, I think.
Yes. So what happens, that affects because at some point of time, same person becomes a team leader, same person becomes a slightly senior as a management. He'll never remain a junior most. So from the beginning only, if we understand the importance of time management, discipline, that is where it affects the productivity, time management, and again leading by example. All these factors, if he himself comes late, he or she comes late, then how can he expect the other team members to come in time? So one has to plan everything before, work out the likely delays and then accordingly start. Reach 5 minutes early. That point also I'll come on to that. That is also part of my talk, fortunately. Any major challenge which was faced by you, and did discipline help you in carrying out the analysis of that challenge and overcome that challenge? Anyone? Because I'm speaking about from army point of view and a different angle, but it's very important that one has to understand each other. Well, I'll be giving examples from army so that things are related. Yeah, anybody? Any major challenge faced by you and how did you handle that? And did discipline help you? I hope you people are there just logged in and gone away. Yeah.
Okay, so this is Aditya Paranzape. I'm an academic.
Yeah.
Work on research problems, some of which are open-ended. And when you do open-ended research, you give yourself a lot of liberties. You think that, this is an open-ended problem, I'll take my time and think about it. But interestingly, what I've found is the most efficient way to even get open-ended research done is, as you do in the army, literally draw up a day-to-day plan and start sketching things off. It seems very regimented, but interestingly, it works very well. And what is interesting also about it is, although you may feel that following a regimented way of life can, sometimes force you to think along very narrow and regimented lines, somehow that doesn't happen. It doesn't get in the way of thinking. Somehow, it just frees you up, just kind of an experience. So usually with my students, I ask them to like sort of, if possible, draw up lists and start touching them off. And eventually, if you do what you do, but at least you won't regret that you didn't put in enough. You didn't put in enough planning or enough thought into how you're going to go about your problem.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So at times some tasks looks very big in the beginning. You have rightly said, Mr. Aditya, that sometimes it looks so enormous. You don't start. That procrastination builds up. यार कैसे करूंगा मैं, इतना मुश्किल है यार, इतना बड़ा है, बहुत मुश्किल है. But as Aditya rightly brought out, start brick by brick. I mean, you can make a big wall, you can make a big fortress, you can make a big building. But it always starts by laying the first brick. One brick, the whole thing comes up and the whole building and the whole structure comes up. It looks so enormous, so beautiful and so big. So absolutely, thank you so much, Aditya. You really brought out some point. Another point also, which you had said, that what was the other point you had mentioned?
No, the other point also was, I don't know if that's the one you're referring to, but I mean, in our line of work, sometimes we just have to.
Yeah, regimented. Regimented.
So, we have to sometimes think, but even regimentation actually helps even thinking a little more freely and a little more clearly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Under no pressure to get tasks.
Discipline does not mean it is binding you. It becomes a habit. So once it becomes a habit, like I'm used to getting up early morning. For somebody it will say, oh my God, सुबह 6 बजे कौन उठ रहा है? क्या बड़ा मुसीबत है. But I get up on my own now. It is my habit. I mean, I am at 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm out for a long walk and come back and go for play, golf and whatever game one can play. So it becomes a part of the life. It's no more a burden, no more a problem. So initially one has to overcome that hassle. That also I'll cover how one can cover those hassles. You are absolutely right. But it does not make you think narrowly. It actually helps you thinking logically and with the time plan and other advantages which we discussed, which of course are help. Now, since some of you might have army background, might be having some friends, or must have seen in the movies or TV or read some book, what is the perception of a person from armed forces? Like Aditya said, very regimented life and very regimented disciplined scene. Anybody else? Because I don't want people to just switch off and go away.
Yes, this postal program process, right? Probably, are you? I mean, like in a horse, no, we put the guides. So, are you thinking in a parallel way, not in an obtuse angle? So, is that a perception, sir? I feel like that. You see everything through your disciplined way, and probably you want everyone to be straight. I mean, thinking in that objective that way. Or my personal over a period, over decades, you are used to routine, right? And you believe routine helps when the civilian society doesn't believe so.
Yeah, absolutely. So a general perception, you're right, of the armed forces. People from armed forces, they are disciplined, they are punctual, they are polite, honest, kind, well-mannered, haircut, dress is slightly different. They won't wear probably torn jeans and all those things. So, I mean, you can make out out of the crowd, he must be a Fauji. It's slightly different. I mean, maybe some people may call it orthodox or whatever, but yes, you can still make out. I still like to have my haircut every week or 10 days. I can't still tolerate long hair. So little thing, but yes, and people also know that armed forces is the last resort in case of any crisis, emergency, be it external threat or internal threat, whether it is a railway accident or floods or earthquake or even some child falling into the borewell. Even under those circumstances also, we find that people are armed forces the last resort. So why this thing, this comes as a last resort? So I would say that talking of because of all these factors, then they know that they will do it, they will deliver, result will be delivered irrespective of the time, 24/7, or one works and does not stop and halt till things are done. You had mentioned about punctuality. So here it is. In fact, I would say that when I came on a posting to Delhi. We were going for a wedding. So my wife, I was saying 8 o'clock is the time you should be ready and all that. Let's be in time. And finally, after a lot of howling and all, we reached around 8:15. 8 o'clock was the time for arrival of Bharat. And at 8:15 also, not a single host was there except three, four oldies who had no work at home. They were sitting there and waiters were being briefed. And then my wife gave me a dirty look. I said, relax now. Let's sit on a table and think that we have come out for a dinner. And we'll ask them to, if the snacks have started, we started having some snacks, food chart and all those chaat, pakodi and all those things. But the fact is that punctuality means I realize, Aditya, as you had rightly said, that it is a very big bane. And earlier also we had mentioned about coming on time. You see, it does not cost anything extra, right? You have to reach a place. Say there's a meeting at 12. I've seen people start getting ready at 12 to go for a meeting, and after that travel time, and then he's coming and meeting that person, whereas he should be there at quarter to 12. He has to take same time to get ready. He has to take same time to travel. As a result, he's coming late. He's already giving 3, 4 excuses. So traffic jam, all these things, and vehicle did not stop, and railway crossing, and too many red lights, and VIP movement, all possible excuses one giving. So you are in a reactive mode, right? And the mood of the other party is already gone off. So you're looking for some return, looking for a deal, looking for some MOU. I mean, the initial beginning is not good. Whereas if you reach, say, 10 minutes early, you're sitting there, mentally you're preparing, okay, I've come to this company, you have come to this restaurant, you have come to this meeting point for a meeting. In 5-10 minutes before he comes, or if he also comes 5 minutes early, you have 5 minutes to channelize your thoughts. Here, in the other case, you are channelizing your thought to give excuses to how to convince him that why I got late. Here, you can channelize your thought, and your meeting would be, I would say, 99% a big success. It's very, very important that it is not regimented life for this thing. It is very important for the organization, whatever you're doing. And a same thing goes if you have to deliver a project. Say some robot has to be made, for some company that has to be delivered. कोई time लगेगा बनाने में. अभी वो खाली delay करते जाएंगे. Then yes, we keep giving excuses, and again our credibility goes for 6. Whereas if we do the time उतना ही लग रहा है, but if we pre-plan the thing and do the things in time, it definitely enhances our credibility manifold. Self-respect is the root of discipline. The sense of dignity grows with the ability to say no to oneself. Very, very important to say no also to oneself, because your desires are there. And other thing is making discipline part of your identity. Very, very important. I mean, if you make it the part of your identity, means, say I'm an army veteran. Discipline is part of my life, my identity. Can you have that kind of identity? Suppose you're punctual, you're well dressed, the way you talk, you respect ladies, you respect others, you have empathy. After some time, your team member know that he is this kind of person. In the talk, when people talk and everything they discuss within the office, they say, this fellow is this. He will be on time. Rest of the, and they would talk of another person. If he has come, that means everybody has come. He's always late. So you can make a part of the identity. What is your identity? It's very, very important. Once you make a part of your identity, then everything is sorted. You don't need anything else. Have a role model. Always have a role model. Identify him. What kind of role model? Suppose you want to become a very technical person, you have a role model in your field. You want to become a health conscious, you have a role model in that field. You become an actor, you have a role model in that field. So then you identify the role model. What do they do? What is their routine? How do they manage the time management, what kind of company they keep, what kind of, to what thing they say no, and to what thing they say yes. Identify those things. If you imbibe those things naturally, then you have somebody to look forward to, that you want to become that kind of person. Yes, you are there. And reflect this identity in your environment. Say, I would say you want to be physically fit. That is one identity. You want to be active. People know that you are active. So, do you have a yoga mat? Do you have exercise, cycling, healthy food? Your environment in the room, have you kitted yourself well? Have you made a program? Have you joined some gym? Have you joined some yoga camp? Those are things which becomes a identity of your environment. Internalize of threat of not doing this. I mean, you got to have a reward and punishment system. If you're not, say you skip walking or skip doing exercise 1 day or 2 days. 1 day, of course, one should take a break. I would not say that you keep doing anything, so it should not become boring. But if you cheat yourself, then have a punishment for that or make up for that. Do something double. Like at times people cheat eating. So जैसे नहीं शाम को मैं डबल वॉकिंग करूंगा, आज मैं एक चक्कर सोसाइटी का और मार लूंगा, वो एक कहीं ना कहीं वो अपने आप को सिस्टम को एक ठीक रखते हैं. एंड वन थिंग इज देयर कि हाउ टू स्टार्ट, हैव ए गुड सिस्टम टू स्टार्ट. पहले देखो आप जो करना चाहते हो, यू हैव ए रोल मॉडल, यू नो व्हाट यू वांट टू बी, where you want to reach. Then in that system you identify what do you hate, क्या आपको अच्छा नहीं लगता है, वो आपका फ्रिक्शन है, उसको आपने हटाना है. जैसे कि मेरा ब्रदर इन लॉ था, वो सुबह उठने में बड़ा झिझकता था. ये हैड पार्टी लाइफ, रात को 11-12 बजे तक पार्टी हो ना, एंड सुबह अपना 9 बजे 10 बजे उठ रहे हैं, आराम से ऑफिस है. But I started him with a golf. Now he gets up at 5. No, naturally he has to sleep at 9 or 9:30. 5 o'clock he is already in the golf course. So their life has changed. So some attraction, some reward is there. And then when the things start, you can have a buddy system. वो peer pressure आ जाता है. अगर आप नहीं आए तो आपके दोस्त का फोन आ जाएगा, बॉस कहाँ हो आज, नजर नहीं आए सुबह घूमने में, वॉक करते समय रोज नजर आते हो. और यू से कि वी मीट एट 6 in the morning फॉर द वॉक, दैट डे यू डोंट कम, हिल बस कि किधर है भाई, क्या है, सब ठीक है. तो एक बडी सिस्टम कर लिया, एक फ्रेंड ग्रुप कर लिया, समथिंग विच फोर्सेस यू, कमिटमेंट बन जाती है जिससे शुरू हो जाता है. और एक जब आप शुरू करते हो तो देन आफ्टर दैट सस्टेन करना इज अनदर. लॉट ऑफ पीपल मेक गुड न्यू ईयर कमिटमेंट्स कि मैं ये करूंगा, ये करूंगा, ये करूंगा, ये करूंगा. बाय 5th January द एवरीथिंग गो, देन दे आर बैक टू नॉर्मल, सेम ओल्ड थिंग. देन दे वेट फॉर द नेक्स्ट ईयर टू मेक ए कमिटमेंट. एक सस्टेन करना है ताकि एक लाइफ लॉन्ग बना रहे. इसमें ब्रेक भी लीजिए, एक रूटीन बना लीजिए, 5 days 6 day वर्क, एक दिन ब्रेक, रेस्ट किया, टोटल रिलैक्स, रिचार्ज, एंजॉय, मूवी देखी, कुछ बाहर खाना खाया, रिलैक्स किया, ताकि अगले दिन आप फिर तैयार हो एक हफ्ते के लिए. चाहे वो आपका काम है, या आपकी हेल्थ है, या आपकी हॉबी है, कुछ भी है. तो इसलिए वो सस्टेन करना बहुत जरूरी है. और आपको ये भी आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा कि क्या चीज आपको एनर्जाइज करती है, क्या चीज आपको अच्छा लगता है, उस चीज को आप फिर करें. ये हो गया इसको. एंड कभी ना कभी एक फैसला लेना होता है कि भाई जस्ट डू इट, नथिंग एल्स. जस्ट डू इट मींस लाइक माय ब्रदर इन लॉ वाज स्मोकिंग. वन डे जस्ट डिसाइड I'm leaving. किस्सा खत्म. After that, he never touched this cigarette. So at times it is just bस. या तो जैसे होता है मेरे साथ होता है, 2-3 दिन नहीं गया, 5-6 दिन वॉक पे नहीं गया, तो खूब गाली देता हूँ अपने आप को, क्या कर रहा है, ढीला हो गया, ये सब. फिर निकल जाता हूँ. कर्स योरसेल्फ, अब्यूज योरसेल्फ, रिवॉर्ड योरसेल्फ, व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू डू, बट देन यस वी हैव टू जस्ट डू इट वाला एक इशू जनरल. तो कभी कभी क्या होता है, छोटी सिचुएशन में जो आप जैसे काम करते हो वो इम्पोर्टेंट होता है. कि जैसे कि मैंने बताया कि वॉक करना, डिसिप्लिन, सुबह उठना, छोटी छोटी चीजें, इनको आप शुरू करो तो एक रूटीन बनना शुरू होता है, एक आदत बन जाती है आपकी एक डिसिप्लिन होने की. लाइक व्हाट आई सेड इज द ऑपरेशन इन कश्मीर, वी वर देयर. इट वाज अगेन आई थॉट ऑफ शेयरिंग दिस since in the beginning it was brought out that I had 7 tenures in Kashmir. So operation means every now and then I was in encounters, firing with militants or with Pakistanis. So at times one has to be careful on the human right issue. क्योंकि बंदे को गुस्सा तो आ रहा होता है कि हमारा बंदा मर गया है, हमारा जवान मारा गया है, हमने ये करना है, सबको मार दो, सबको खत्म कर दो, हमारे पास गन है, हमारे पास ताकत है. That is where probably the discipline comes into play, that you should not do it, you cannot do it. When it is not, it is wrong. That they are the common people, they are the common villagers. You cannot kill them. We have to kill the enemy of the nation. That is what I followed in letter and spirit. I killed a lot of militants. I killed Pakistani. But in the villages, the poor people used to say, "Janab, upar khuda, niche aap." ये चीजें जो हैं, if you have that kind of feeling and you are not doing things for to off, then things are different. ह्यूमन राइट्स के लिए भी हमको एक डिसिप्लिन होना पड़ता है, नहीं तो गोली चलाना बहुत आसान होता है. So this is what Warren Buffett, the investor, said. We do not have to be smarter than the rest. We have to be more disciplined than the rest.
Sir Rajesh here. One point
Yeah.
from my side, just want to say, since we see this military or defense people always disciplined because they are been through this system and training, rigorous training. There are certain protocols. They don't have any option. Where in the civilians, they get distracted by many things. So in that context, should we make this military training compulsory like we have in few countries for everyone? So that, or in other way, what we can say, the scheme like Agniveer test, which the government has launched, will it help in developing this kind of society going forward?
Absolutely. Definitely. Because only thing is, in our country, population is huge and people are, because of huge population, everybody cannot be given a chance of compulsory military service. So Agniveer is a very good option from that point of view, that some people can be made, would be made disciplined, whatever for 4 years of service they have. Then it makes a change for life. Like some of you might have been in NCC, National Cadet Corps. You would realize that the camp you attended has a memory for life if the camp was good. So, these small little things make you think of the discipline part. It becomes a part of habit, and sense of pride also comes in. I'm a ex-veteran, I'm a soldier, ex-soldier, and all that.
That's right.
I just want to share one view, now we are talking that the discipline, okay, it comes from military, and military is a place where you can, learn a lot of discipline and disciplinary related things. But just recently, I am reading a book about, the discipline of mind, and it is written by people who are just opposite of military. That is the Buddhist monks, and they say that one of the Buddhist prayers and meditation which they do is to understand that the life is short, so it must be used efficiently. And because of the life has to be used efficiently, you must be very disciplined in time, and you should never waste time. So it is not only military, it is all fields of life. And rather, I think we'll say that the wise people, they understand that discipline is required. Those who are not so wise, they don't realize it.
Absolutely, Vibhuti, absolutely, you are right. Because it is not necessary that people from army only are disciplined. If you see the Ratan Tata, if you see in the corporate sector, that is where I had mentioned one has to create his own identity. If you are disciplined people, after some time they start talking. He's always in time and he's always well dressed. A different kind of respect amongst everybody builds up. It is not. He does not have to say that respect me. They automatically, in the heart of what people respect, they may not say, but they respect. Yes, he's there. He's always professional. He is able to do so much within given time. Time management is good. He's professional. People may not express, but yes, that different feelings are there. You are right, absolutely, Bhutiji, absolutely.